Hey traders, welcome back to another lesson here. Today started out with a bullish channel working higher. We had a break in a new extreme. The market opened here at 8:30 in this area. We actually had a decent setup right at market open, but I typically don't take setups right at the open because there could be some small volatility spike. Um, so I typically like to stay away right at the open, but we had a nice setup to start the day off. We had this uptrend in play. At the time, we wouldn't have this wider channel. We'd just be playing this uptrend here, and we had a break of the channel. We had a first entry short, pullback, second entry short, and up at this point, uptrend would need a new high. So this failed second entry short would be a trap. But we also had a second entry long. You got a count reset here. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. So this is what we call a double high probability setup. We had the failed second entry short and the second entry long at the same time, while the uptrend still needed a high. So those taking the second entry short would get trapped in addition to the second entry long. Prices pushed higher, and if this wasn't at 8:30 right at open, I mean, this would be a great setup to take a chance on. But once again, I typically like to stay away from trades right at market open because there could be a small volatility spike. Prices pushed higher, created a new extreme. And at this point, I'm just kind of sitting on my hands, waiting to see what the next market cycle is going to be. Are we going to get continuation? Are we going to get a reversal or some sideways movement? You can see a sharp push through below the EMA with this downtrend working lower. So I was thinking, okay, we can potentially get some reversal here. I was starting to think about some potential second entry short to test the new low of this downtrend, but I was instantly corrected there because prices pushed right above the EMA and pushed higher here. There was some spike in volatility at this point, and prices pushed higher. So I still wouldn't be playing this wider channel at the moment. I'd just be playing this breaking a new high. And that's kind of how I was playing it at this point. I mean, I was really sitting on my hands. I wasn't really interested in taking a setup. I just wanted to see what the next market cycle would be. Just let bars print and see what was to come. We have a count reset here, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. We have this short-term trend in play. So I'm really patient on this second entry long. I want to see what the next market cycle is going to be before I get interested in taking a setup. We have a small break and a new low here. And we have a first entry short pullback, second entry short failure, but it formed below the EMA. So once again, I'm just kind of patient, just sitting on my hand. This is more so of an area of development for me. There's not a clear bias at the moment. See, there's a big difference between this area here and then this area here. In this area, we have a clear option in play, double high probability setup, expecting the new high. At this point, we're not expecting anything. It's just more so an area of development, waiting for prices to pick the next market cycle. So we got a first entry short, second entry short failure. But once again, that's below the EMA, and we're just kind of patiently waiting. You get a push above the EMA, you get a first entry long, count reset, first entry long, and prices keep pushing higher here. And when we push higher here, at this point, this is when I started eyeing this wider channel here. And I was playing this wider channel as prices pushed higher here. Because we have to ask ourselves, why didn't we reverse? We didn't reverse here. We pushed lower, got a break in a new low, and didn't reverse here. And now that we pushed higher, we're like, okay, it's pretty clear that this wider channel is in play. So I'm looking for a second entry long at the EMA. We get this downtrend working lower here that breaks the EMA. So I'm just patient. I want to see prices push above the EMA before I start considering a long setup. I'm not thinking short at this time because we have this uptrend in play. So we get this short-term trend with a break and a new extreme. And you can see that nice two-legged pullback that we talked about yesterday. So I'm curious to see if we get a failed second entry short above the EMA. And at this point, we have a news announcement which caused this big volatility spike here. So whenever we see this volatility spike like this, I really like to be patient and just let prices come back to normal. Let the volatility play itself out and wait for that next market cycle. So you can see this sideways movement here. So I was just sitting on my hands being patient, letting prices print. Then we get a break lower here with a small break in a new extreme. And we get this nice push above the EMA. So at this point, when this support level here, when this holds and we push above the EMA strong like this, it's pretty clear that we're in this range structure. Now you can see that we've been working sideways for quite some time. So I drew in this support here, this resistance here, and when we got this nice push above the EMA, this is when things start clearing up. At this point, it's very sideways, very choppy. I mean, it's more so of an area development. So I'm really sitting on my hands. But now things clear up. We got our structure, we got our bias bullish, and I really want to see a two-legged pullback second entry long to test the new extreme of this uptrend. And two, prices are most likely trying to test this resistance up here. So I really like these areas of the chart when things all align. Once again, we have our range structure, our bullish bias uptrend in play. So a second entry long here would be perfect. Everything would align. Like this fell second entry short, second entry long uptrend in play. Bearish bias has depleted. We got that nice double high probability setup. This is another area of the chart. So that's something that I like to emphasize is not every area of the chart is a trading area. There are lots of times on the chart where we just want to sit on our hands and wait for something to clear up. But these are two great areas where we would consider looking for a setup. In this area, if it wasn't at the open, of course, and in this area when the structure, the bias, and that two-legged pullback when it really clears up for us. So we have a tiny break in a new extreme. Unfortunately, we didn't get that two-legged pullback at the EMA, but at least we're reading it correctly. And next time a nice second entry long forms here, I mean, it'd be a great setup to take advantage of. So we get a break in a new extreme. I'm not really interested in selling the resistance here because we traded quite high into this range. We traded up into this range, so I'm really not interested in selling at this moment. I really want to see prices play out and see what if this range is going to be the structure or if we get some continuation bullish bias. So let's see what happens here. We get a first entry long, and we have a lower high on this resistance, but once again, I'm just not real interested in selling. And we get a push lower here. So we have a small, this push lower was quite strong. You have a small break in a new extreme, but you can see how strong this push lower was. And once we get this rejection here and push below the EMA, then it gives us a lot of trust that, okay, this wider channel is the pattern. We have a nice two-legged move here. You can see the first leg up, break, second leg up here with a break in a new high. And when you get this nice push below the EMA, it's quite clear, okay, traders are trying to test the new extreme of this downtrend working lower here. So I was really thinking about some lower high in this area. Let's see if we can get it here. We do actually get a lower high, but problem is it's a bullish doji. I really wanted to see some nice bear bar to sell under, but unfortunately we had a bullish doji. But on your chart, if you guys had a nice lower high here, this is a great setup to take advantage of. Range structure, downtrend in play. Downtrend needs a new low. You got two clear legs up with a break in a new extreme, push below the EMA. A lower high is a great confirmation setup, confirming that prices are going to most likely want to test this new low here. And sure enough, prices pushed right lower and created that new extreme for the downtrend. We get another rejection. And at this point, I'm not playing this downtrend just yet. I'm more so playing it as a break in a new extreme, especially since we were in this range structure. But when we start working lower again right here, you have to ask yourself, okay, why didn't prices pull back into range here? If this range structure was the pattern, prices should have pulled back into range. So I'm already starting to think about this wider channel here. Something like this. But you can see we have a small overshoot here. And we have this short-term channel in play. You actually get a second entry short here. If you count reset here, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, which In a downtrend, of course, we're looking for the second entry short to sell at the EMA, but there's two issues I have with this one here. We have a small overshoot and we have this short-term uptrend in play. So I'd really want to see this uptrend play out before and a push below the EMA before I start consider selling. So I'm patient on this second entry short for those two reasons. Prices did push lower, so at this point we can negate the overshoot because prices didn't pull back like we expected with the overshoot. We instead pushed lower. So that's given us enough reason to go ahead and widen our channel. So now once again, I'm looking for that two-legged pullback second entry short at the EMA to sell with trend. We get a first entry short pullback, and I'm really expecting that second entry short right now with the EMA, or at the EMA, excuse me. Let's see if we can get it here. And we do in fact get a second entry short. Problem is, this bar ended bearish doji. I really wanted to see a nice bearish bar here to sell under for the second entry short. So I actually was patient on this setup here. To be honest, I don't even think that it triggered. But had it triggered, this is somewhere where I just want to be patient given the signal bar. I really wanted to see some more bearish bar here. But the context is right. You got the first entry short pullback, second entry short at the EMA, trend in play. So let's just see what happens next. Yeah, prices didn't trigger. We pushed higher. We get the break in a new high. Let's see if we can get that push below the EMA. So you can see range actually, excuse me, the trend channel actually held right here. And once again, you got that nice two-legged pullback. I really try your best to train your eyes to see these nice two-legged pullbacks because these are exactly what we look for in every move. So you can see the trend line held here. Adjust this a little bit. Trend line held here, so I'm looking for that lower high right below the EMA at this point. I just like to see a nice bull bar get trapped right here at the EMA, the lower high, confirming this two-legged pullback. And we do get the lower high. Problem is we're so far from the EMA. We really need to see something closer to the EMA at this point. And prices just push lower, which no problem. At least we read correctly. But if you guys had a lower high right here at the EMA, this is a great setup to take advantage of. Expect like confirming that two-legged move, trend line held, lower high, great setup to continue this push phase here. So now same thing that we're with here. We're looking for that two-legged pullback second entry short at the EMA, given that we're in this trend. Count reset, we have a first entry short. Can we get a second entry short? We have a tiny break in a new high. We have a second entry short here. Problem is we're above the EMA. So let's see that push below the EMA in a lower high. Very similar to what we're looking for here, the lower high after the two-legged pullback. We have an uptrend, break, new extreme. And you get the lower high here, but it never triggered. It looks like it triggered here, but when you're watching this live, it worked higher and then came lower. The lower high would really be this bull bar here. And at this point, it's just getting a little bit too congested. So prices do push lower. So I drew this congestion here, this little small range. And what I'm thinking here when I'm watching this live is I really want to see the breakout pullback lower high. I want to see prices break out of this small congestion, come back and test this support here, and offer a lower high to continue working lower. And sure enough, prices break out of the small congestion, pull back to the support level, test it, and offer a nice lower high breakout pullback. I actually took this setup live. This is a great setup to take advantage of, given that prices broke lower, came back, tested the support level, and offered a breakout pullback lower high here. And prices work lower perfectly for a scalp. So this was a great high probability setup to take advantage of. And we continue with the push phase here. So nothing changed. Same thing as we were looking for on the way down here, that second entry short, two-legged pullback. So you got a count reset here. We have an uptrend in play. Looks like we have a first entry short. We get a break and a new extreme here. And I'm looking for the failed second entry long at this point. You have a count reset, first entry long pullback. I'm looking to see that failed second entry long below the EMA at this point because prices need a new extreme given that we have the first break of this downtrend. So let's see if we can get it here. I was looking for the failed second entry long here, but we had a bullish doji. So I had to cancel my order because the bar just wasn't strong enough. I wanted to see some stronger bear bar at this point. And we push higher again. So now I'm just kind of pausing. At this point, I really need to see the failed second entry long below the EMA to confirm, okay, prices are going to want to test this new extreme. You get the count reset first entry long pullback. Can we get a failed second entry long below the EMA? We're back above the EMA again. So now I'm just waiting. I really want to see this bullish correction play out, push below the EMA before we can confirm that we are in fact going to test this new extreme. You get a lower high right here, but it's just simply not enough. This bullish correction was a little bit too long. We really need the failed second entry long to confirm we're going to test this new extreme. But you can see on a higher time frame, and here we got that nice two-legged pullback. Perfect measure move. If you measure from here to this point, you copy and paste it for the second leg, you have a perfect measure move. So this is a nice two-legged pullback. So let's see if we can push lower and get some nice failed second entry long or a push lower and a second entry short at the EMA. Let's see what happens here. And when we get this push lower like this, I'm really expecting a second entry short at the EMA. This is another area right here which is very strong, like it was on this move up here. These are great areas of the chart to take advantage of because this main downtrend needs a new low and this short-term downtrend also needs a new low. So there's two downtrends that need a new low at this point. So it gives you more confidence that the second entry short could push prices lower given that both of these downtrends need a new extreme. So let's see what we get here. We have a first entry short, so I'm really expecting the second entry short at the EMA at this point. And prices push above the EMA. So I'm kind of patient. I can see another two-legged pullback here. First leg, break, second leg. So let's see if prices, maybe they just wanted to test the new extreme here and push below and give us a lower high. And we push below the EMA at this point. So I'm looking for that lower high. Because once again, we have this downtrend that needs a new low, this downtrend that needs a new low. So a lower high would be a great setup to take advantage of. Both of these downtrends needing new lows. But the lower high formed above the EMA as a bullish bar. So I got to be patient. I'm looking for a second entry short, which would also be a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure, another double high probability setup. Let's see if it can form for us here. And we're back above the EMA, and it forms well above the EMA here. So I'm just patient. I'm waiting for things to clear up. We have some sideways action, so we're drawing this range here. But there's definitely a bearish bias because we traded down into this range, and both of these downtrends need a new low. This downtrend isn't as strong at the moment because it retraced so much of the downtrend, but this bigger downtrend definitely needs the new extreme. So I'm just being patient and letting prices print and waiting for things to clear up for us. And we push down again. So now I'm looking for the second entry short again to capitalize on this downtrend needing a new low. We get a first entry short. The second entry short just formed way too far from the EMA. And we push lower. So two things can happen at this point. We can push lower and we can expect that prices are going to want to test this new extreme, or range could take over, but we need to see prices push back higher like this to know that, okay, range took over. So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands. I'm patiently waiting to see what the next cycle is going to be. Is it going to be range, or price is going to want to test this new extreme of the downtrend? So when we get this nice two-legged pullback, you can see it here. First leg, pullback, second leg, and prices push lower like this, it's already a good sign that, hey, there's probably a wider channel in play here going to test the new extreme of this downtrend. So I'm looking for some second entry short right here at this nice support level, because this support would turn into resistance. And just like over here at this point, when prices broke lower and pulled back as a breakout pullback, I'm looking for the same thing in this area. A breakout of this trading range, a pullback to test the support, which would now turn into resistance, and a nice second entry short at the EMA. And it would also confirm this trend line here. So you'd actually have three key entry points. You'd have the support, which turned into a resistance. You'd have this trend line, and you'd also have the EMA. And sure enough, if we start at the lowest low, you have a first entry short, pullback, second entry short at this point. And the second entry short is too far from the EMA, and it's a bullish bar. So price is pushed higher. It stopped out the first entry short. It stopped out the second entry short. And those taking the first entry short pullback, second entry short failure at this point would get trapped because they're selling into this resistance level, they're selling into the channel, and they're selling into the EMA, and prices offered one tick, double trap, which is a great high probability setup given these three key entry points. Prices, this is a little bit big. I think it was about 32 ticks risk. So it would be nice to drop your limit order a little back to decrease risk here. But this is a great high probability setup to take advantage of, given the three key entry points and two downtrend needing a new extreme. And sure enough, prices worked lower, and created the new low for the downtrend. You can see it. Or I'm sorry, actually it didn't create a new low just yet. So this downtrend is still in play, and this downtrend is in play. So nothing changes. Now we're looking for the second entry short at the EMA to see the new low of this downtrend, because this downtrend still needs a new extreme. This is still our target. So let's see if we get the second entry short at the EMA. We have a first entry short, pullback, second entry short at this point, and this is a nice lower high of this second entry short. And you can see how these traps work, because the traders thinking bullish here, if they start at the new low, they got the first entry short pullback, second entry short failure. They're trying to take the failed second entry short, but they're failing to realize that this downtrend is in play here, and the main downtrend is in play, needing a new extreme. So this lower high is a great trap of the failed second entry short, expecting prices to push lower. I really wanted to see this form below the EMA, but for the trap that I just explained, the failed second entry short, you really expect once this failed second entry short gets trapped for prices to push lower here. And sure enough, prices push lower and create the new extreme, and you can see it's a new extreme of this downtrend to the left, this main one as well. So now all channels played out. And this is perfect price action, guys. This is as perfect as it gets. Main downtrend created a new extreme. Short-term secondary downtrend created a new extreme. All prices played out, or all channels played out, excuse me. So I'm just sitting on my hands waiting for the next market cycle, market structure to kick in. So let's see what happens next. And you can see now that downtrend created a new extreme, the bulls are starting to kick in now and reverse the market. And we're just about at the close now. So you got some short-term channel up in play here, and now we're at the close. So this was a great trading day, guys. To sum it up, we had an uptrend with a break and a new extreme, a nice failed second entry short, second entry long, double high probability setup. But just to reiterate, this formed right at open, so I was patient here. But if this formed, during the day, this would be a great setup to take advantage of. We had some volatility spike here in area development, which then after we push higher, we were able to draw this wider uptrend, which had a nice break, two-legged pullback here. Prices worked a little, or excuse me, at the volatility, at the news volatility, we actually created a new high of the uptrend. So you got that two-legged pullback break of the uptrend here, and a push up with the volatility of the news and creating a new extreme. Then we went into that small sideways action. We have a downtrend with a break and a new low, push above the EMA, confirming this support here. So now we shift into a new market structure of range. So this is a great area to look for that second entry long. We have an uptrend in play. We're looking for that second entry long to test the new high of the uptrend and to test this resistance up here. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but prices still went where we expected. We get the new high here. The resistance held. Prices push lower. We have this downtrend in play. You can see the nice two-legged pullback. We were looking for a lower high, confirming the two-legged pullback. Downtrend needing a new low, and at this point, price is testing the support now. Unfortunately, we didn't have a good signal bar, but it's okay. We still read it correctly. Nice lower high, push lower, new low. This support level turned into a breakout pullback. Prices push lower, so this is a sign, okay, there could potentially be a wider channel. Prices push lower again, giving us this wider channel. We're looking for the second entry short to take advantage of the downtrend. We have a second entry short that formed here, but of course we had this uptrend in play. And at this point, we're just looking for a second entry short. If we don't get it, we can see this two-legged pullback, looking for the lower high below the EMA to confirm that two-legged pullback. And we're just taking advantage of the shorts on the way down. Unfortunately, no second entry short formed for us, but we do get a nice breakout pullback lower high at this point, which I went over earlier. So downtrend in play, we get a break, two-legged pullback. Now we expect a new extreme of the downtrend, given that this two-legged pullback formed, the bullish bias depleted. It actually did take a little bit longer than we expected. Usually we get some nice move lower fairly quickly to get the new extreme, but this was like prolonged sideways movement before prices push lower. But this is another great area to take advantage of. We have this secondary channel working lower here, so we're looking for that second entry short. At this point, a two-legged pullback lower high to confirm the two-legged pullback. Second entry short didn't form that great for us in this area, but it gave us a nice double trap to take advantage of, given the three key entry points. These are beautiful. These three key entry points. They're almost like these double high probability setups where there's a lot going for this trade. There's a lot of reasons to enter, and these three key entry points are very, very reliable setups. We get the double trap, prices push lower, break, and a new extreme. All downtrends played out, all trends played out. And it confirms it with this nice reversal here. It shows that, okay, the sellers are done. They created their new extremes, and now the bullish bias is taking over towards the end of the day, towards close. So yeah, guys, this is a great trading lesson. Perfect price action. Price action worked perfectly as expected. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. If this video was helpful for you, hit that like button for me. I also have a trading community where I post charts daily in real time. I'm also there to answer any questions that you may have in real time. So if that's of any interest to you, there's a link in the description below. Feel free to check that out. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a great evening. Thank you.